Welcome to a centering and grounding meditation, just a few minutes. Something that's an option for you to press play on a repeated basis if you'd like to revisit a guided experience, just to come into breath and body and awareness in this moment. And this meditation is designed so that you can also pause it in the middle if you'd like some more time for some silence and space. Our theme for today's meditation is healthy emotional boundaries. And I'd just like to share with you, as a practitioner and as a business owner for 14 years, I began medical school in the year 2000, that I am a 100% beginner. And one of the reasons I lead this healthcare professionals and integrated professionals group is to include myself as a learner and a student in the process of understanding how to take care of myself and how to be healthy. So please join me in that being a beginner over and over again. And we can do that in this moment, in this meditation. Remembering and surfacing how to be, how to include ourselves, how to be healthy. Finding your feet on the floor. And I'd like to introduce just an image of two pigeons that are drafting each other, meaning two pigeons where one is flying just in front and the second pigeon is just behind, sort of observing and watching that up front pigeon. So just the concept of you being the second pigeon, which is just a little bit back and up. So as you are entering just more of a present moment awareness, just imagine seeing yourself just a little bit separate, but you're flying together. You're just watching those decisions and watching the state of that front flying pigeon. You're getting some support as that front pigeon is navigating, and you're just watching and feeling and sensing. Noticing your breathing, if you're holding your breath, or if you're allowing yourself to inhale and to exhale. If you can just let yourself, letting the breath breathe you, letting the air under your wings, the air coming into your lungs. Just letting yourself breathe and be breathed. It can be challenging not to control it, and it's okay if that's hard to let go of. Even if your breath is slow, just feeling it and allowing all of your experience, your breath, then any body sensations. Perhaps feeling your heart beating. Notice the sensations of sitting, any tingling. Noticing the physical level of, are your feet curled up? Can you let your toes and your feet relax, placing both feet on the floor? Feeling the support if you're seated in a chair. And just noting just the weather in your mind. Noticing if it's a quick stream of thoughts, or there's any emotionally charged thoughts. Maybe something tugging on you from the past, or perhaps tugging on you from the future. Just noticing the weather, whether or not it feels spacious or busy. emotionally charged, or just more in a natural flow of thoughts. And finally, just being aware of your emotional state. I want to encourage each of us to place a hand, or perhaps even both hands, one on top of the other, on our heart. Just introducing a new concept. So I'm going to share something you may never have heard before. And that is that just dropping a possibility, not a prescription, not a this is how it is, but just the possibility that the only emotion is love. And sometimes we're experiencing grief, sadness, jealousy, enthusiasm, joy. Sometimes there's so many other vibrations, possibilities for our feelings. And is it possible that there is only one feeling, only one actual vibration, and that is love? And that everything else might be a teaching or a stepping stone or something to transform us and purify us, something for us to be with and experience and allow. But what if the only vibration ever is love? A few stops along the way, but before, during, and after, the only deeper level of experience is just awareness, being with. It's the fabric of feeling, unconditional being, a fabric of love, just being awake and aware, the ability to feel, ability to be here, just love. So gently lifting your hands and maybe even replacing. So if one hand was underneath, just change your hands on your heart. So now there's an opposite hand first on your heart. And just checking in with where you are this morning. Where are your feelings? Where are your emotions? There's just such a spectrum. There's a beautiful spectrum wheels of feelings. They go from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, all the way through purple, white. There's just such a spectrum of options and experiences, learning. Seeing if you can articulate and find the actual words to describe what you're feeling right now. And silently, just noticing those words, naming the frequency of the feelings in silence. What we're practicing this morning is sensing and naming. And this is one of the ways to begin to create a foundation for healthy emotional boundaries, is to actually have contact with self. So sometimes just knowing where we are and having a way to name and be aware is the foundation, an important foundation for knowing self and even knowing our needs or where we are in relation to anything else. And we'll be talking about healthy emotional boundaries in our group today. So today in our meditation, just dropping in a single question for yourself. What am I learning about healthy boundaries in my life right now? What am I learning about healthy boundaries in my life right now? Giving yourself a chance to listen. Just noticing if you get lost in any rabbit hole and just staying centered on the question. What am I learning about healthy boundaries for myself in my life right now? And we'll get ready to complete our meditation. And this will be some of the exploration that we can use for our discussion. So noticing how you make a transition. Notice how quickly you feel you need to do that. So take your time and see what would help you to return to your body if you need to return to it, if you haven't sort of stayed connected to your seat and your feet and your breath. Noticing how quickly you return to an outward gaze, an understanding of what's around you and what's happening outside. So taking your time to actually intentionally, perhaps slowly, if you've closed your eyes, to begin to open them. And taking in your physical environment, noticing where you are, the quality of light, any motion or stillness in your environment. Noticing also your posture. And seeing if you can keep that inward connection to yourself, that tracking of where you are as you begin to take in the outside world visually, and also begin to, if you're staying in the group, to come into relationship with others in the group, or perhaps for you to proceed with your day or evening to begin to interact with objects, people, things, feelings, all the things around you, as you just keep a little thread to things that are inside. So completing our meditation today, I hope that you will revisit this brief journey with some very specific question. And perhaps you might use it ongoingly, or maybe even just put it away and it might come up in a month, or it might come up in a week. Giving yourself a chance to let wisdom rise through some space and silence. And thank you for joining us today.